Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to Pitchside. This is an amazing show today because all three of these are in the mud. All their teams are in the mud.
Didn't Swansea just beat West Brom as well?
Hey, we're still on a title. We're still on a promotion charge.
So we're all in the mud.
You're now in a relegation battle. You guys are barely going to make top four if you're lucky.
Well, Theo's team
You went from top. You were top at Christmas to completely out of the title race and barely in the top four by New Year. You lot are just pathetic. When will you finally admit Newcastle are average?
Nah, let's go up there. We're Arsenal.
You know what? Well, sorry, just dissect everything he's just said. That's just regurgitating some Twitter nonsense that people keep putting out
Twitter,
now.
little boy.
No, he's right about yours.
Do you know what? I can't help but laugh, at the fact that we were top of the league at Christmas and fourth at New Year. It's quite funny. And I'd like to say it's a new year, new me, and I'm a humble, level-headed man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I am.
Does true humility have to announce that it's humble? Or?
Yeah.
No more.
Okay.
No more will I be placing Trent in an all-time 11 at centre mid.
That's one of your better takes.
Even though
Wait,
actually,
you
he
prefaced
deserved
that
it.
entire thing just to say that you won't put Trent centre mid again.
By the way, I know we're going to touch on it in a bit. We're going to talk about Arsenal, but I wish that Trent goal went in.
Oh, you're on about
That
the
was
little...
the most rat-ass. Have you not seen it? It reminds me of Cafu.
From the right wing?
Yeah,
Have you not seen it?
he played well again
Mate,
yesterday.
But against them?
Yeah,
I
he's shot
only
from like...
actually watched the second half.
Mate,
because I was watching the darts in the first.
I was flicking.
Flicking what?
Nah, it was filthy. I guess we'll talk about
No,
that
you
in a
have
bit.
to look at this, mate. This is the most rat-ass piece of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I have seen it. Where it comes off across
Look
the
at that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Also, the audacity
Yeah.
to even attempt that.
Well, he's
I did see
got that technique in his locker. Anyway, Newcastle, Arsenal, in the mud. We're in the mud. We're in the mud.
I wouldn't say Arsenal were in the mud.
So you've yet again bottled it, and you guys never had the bottle to start with.
Hang on a second.
And do you remember those few weeks ago when you tried to make me apologise? Oh, since you said this about Eddie Howe, this, and this has happened. And what's happened since then, Lewis? You're out the League Cup. You're out the Champions League. You're out any chance of top four or... Wait, what?
The Rabina.
We're just saying the coffee's...
it's hitting.
Yeah, it's kick-started.
Where was I? Whoa.
No, I agree with you, Newcastle.
You're out of every single competition. You're about to be dumped out by the FA Cup by your nearest archest rivals. And...
Your old team.
And...
Stop this, man.
You're shit.
I would love to say, you've clearly not learned because you said all this stuff. And the reason I said I told you so last time was after the bad spiral, we came back and bounced back and played unreal and beat all these big teams. And
like
you're falling into the same trap again.
Like yesterday.
Like a silly carrot.
Who was out yesterday? There was only one player out yesterday.
Was it?
Just Trippier out, wasn't there? Starting 11. You're starting 11.
Wilson.
Wilson was in Dubai.
Tonali's still gone, mate. Harvey Barnes still injured.
You can't
stop ignoring the fact that we got no players.
Harvey Barnes is not first choice.
This is the thing about Newcastle, right?
No,
we have been playing games every 3
maybe.
days. Eddie Howe said himself that we've barely been able to train because the squad is so stretched, we can't rotate. So we're basically rest and playing. We're not having a chance to prepare.
Is that why you put one of the worst displays ever in Premier League history? Defensively,
it was 3-2.
Is it
what?
Sorry,
No, it was 3-2.
Well, no, we don't acknowledge that because that's just silly.
Oh, so you're doing what you moaned at Arsenal fans for doing, but blaming referees, yeah?
No, we're probably still going to lose, but the referees definitely helped
probably. What about the Diaz one that could have been a penalty?
Okay, how about it? It's 3-2 away at Anfield, a bad result considering our current circumstances.
That was the most dominant performance.
I don't know.
In
Like,
history.
if it's the highest. People looking back in the history books and go, "Oh, it was 3-2." Yeah, cool. But people that actually watch football know that
he's one of the most dominant performances of all time.
You know, it's the
3-2.
highest ever recorded XG in Premier League football.
It was 4-2. What a weird thing to say.
Also, do you know what I did find weird, by the way? Is that Liverpool fans booed the referees.
Yeah.
It was mental.
This clip is brought to you by Super 6, and Super 6 is here as ever, and there's £250,000 jackpot to play for the FA Cup ties this weekend. You've got to be in it to win it, so get over to the app, simply predict your 6 scores, and the jackpot could be yours. You can also compete against myself, Reeve, and Theo in the official Pitchside Mini League. The code to join that is PTCH23. We're also giving away £100 classic football shirts voucher to anyone who comes top of that that league each match day. It's super simple. Just predict your 6 scores, enter your golden goal, hit submit, and you are all set. Just follow the link in the description and play now.
Lewis, I get why you're frustrated because
it's Croplow on the side winding them up.
I know, but it is frustrating when decisions like that go against you, and maybe you could have clawed it back and scraped a draw. But if you look at the game,
you barely got out your own half.
But my point is, maybe they could have. They scored 2, so who's to say they couldn't have equalised, right?
Me.
But at the end of the day, you were so dominated, it's ridiculous, and the chances of that actually happening.
But Lewis doesn't actually know what it feels like to be dominated. So
I'm not going to lie, lads. It's a tricky time to be a Newcastle fan.
You're going to lose to Sunderland.
We're in a good spot. We've got a good second half of the season.
You do know you're going to lose to Sunderland. I promise you.
Honestly, can I just say, I feel like they might beat us.
You're the only away win you've had all season is Sheffield United.
And I think the key thing is
Sheffield United are playing team,
well.
No, and
Sheffield United the only team Newcastle United have beaten this season
also,
away
Lewis,
from home.
They won yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday, but they lost. Had a terrible loss to Rotherham. But I still
when
think
you have a go at Arsenal fans for moaning about clear wrong decisions, yeah. So why are you allowed to do the same now?
No, because you don't do about clear wrong decisions.
Realistically, the Jota one was never going to get overturned because there is contact.
Yeah.
And the whole point of VAR is clear and obvious.
And Diaz could have had a penalty.
My biggest concern with this is actually...
If Anthony Taylor would have said that's not a penalty, they wouldn't have given it as a penalty. But there wasn't enough evidence to turn it either way. So
yes, there was. He took like 3 steps after the supposed contact.
Watch the clip back. He takes 1 extra step with his left foot on the foot that he gets hit with. That's actually what happens.
No, if you come on, let's not. This is
the ball went out.
The day that's getting given as a penalty is like football's gone. Let's not start fighting against it.
The point is, it would never be overturned because the referee's given it as an on-field decision, full penalty, and there was contact.
No, I think it's clear and obviously a dive. I think like everyone.
No, I don't think it is an obvious dive.
I actually find that whole thing really bizarre because I don't understand. I don't feel like Jota is a cheat and stuff.
No, he's not. And also,
he would
have just scored.
He fucking bottled it.
He bottled
it. He could have stayed up quite easily because you could see he could have stayed up, but he felt contact, and I think in that moment it's not like he's thought about what he's done. His instinct is just, I felt a contact, I'm going to go down.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is an instinct decision. So he had a thought about doing it.
That's not a dive.
It is a dive.
No, it's not a dive.
It's a dive.
It's going down like a fucking piece of shit. That's what it is.
But it's a dive. It's not a dive.
No, it is. At the end of the day, it is.
He's at full sprint and he's had his left foot wiped out.
What are we on about here? Wiped out? Let's not be stupid.
He's not been wiped out. Come on.
You mental.
I think it's a dive, but I don't know why he did it.
On his foot at full sprint. He's taken a step before.
It's not enough for him to get down.
You can come at me for saying that we were still in the game or whatever. You can't come at me about that being a dive.
It's not enough to go down.
Who cares?
No.
First of all, who gives a shit? You got absolutely.
It's just embarrassing.
You got shown how average you are.
Admit it was 4-2. Admit that goal counts and it was 4-2.
Salah missed a pen. Diaz could have had a pen. Like, who cares about one decision?
The game is live.
Absolutely peppered. You should be embarrassed. You shouldn't have turned up today.
I've seen someone sum it up great. You know, it's always hard enough coming to these teams, and you know it's hard to get a result. It's hard to get a result when you're playing that poorly. But it's even harder when it's against you. And Liverpool are always getting these decisions. They got it last year against. They got it last year.
Who cares about last year?
I can only reference the last time we played them at Anfield.
I can't go. What decisions changed the game yesterday? What decisions changed the game?
Him diving, getting him.
That changed the game, did it? That changed the game from an already losing.
They were dominating Liverpool.
We were most likely going to lose, but it took away the possibility for us to snatch a late one and get a point out of the game.
Well, you know what that means.
Oh, mate,
you should blame yourself because you played so crap that you shouldn't have been in that position.
We still showed an ability to score goals on 2 occasions.
You should be embarrassed at what you're saying right now.
You're so thick because we've seen Arsenal drop it as well. When you dominated a game earlier in the season, and they snatched a late draw.
You use the opposite logic for the same situation. You say the same thing about when Forest came to Arsenal, scored a late equaliser, and they could have done something in the game, but it's so apparently dominant, one-sided team to win the game that it makes it irrelevant anyway.
No,
there's no way that Forest were ever going to get a draw out of that. The same way you were never going to get a draw out of Anfield.
Lewis, also, you saying that you showed chances to score, I wouldn't even agree with that. You know, you've had 5 shots all game and scored twice. That's a 0.6 XG against a team that's had 34
I don't care the
shots.
XG. You got absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
We did, but
I
somehow
can't
we were
believe
still
how
in
you're
the
not
game.
embarrassed of the words you're
Can
coming
you-
out
wait,
with.
wait,
We were dominated, but we were still
Okay,
in the
watching
game at
that
3-2.
performance.
Say
Come out
Arsenal,
and
say
say,
Arsenal
oh,
or Newcastle in this situation. Say Arsenal, Newcastle in this situation. Would you be defending and saying Arsenal were so unlucky they almost got it? No,
It was so
You'd be
close and it was
absolutely
snatched
barren.
away
Open
from
your
the
eyes. Stop being so
referees.
naive. There's a reason you're
If
getting
this
cooked
was
on Twitter.
Arsenal, he'd be saying you're such babies,
Yeah,
blaming the
bottle
referees
job,
when
soft underbelly.
when you'd already lost, you'd already been battered.
Why can't you just accept that you got absolutely played off the park? There is no world. There is no
did.
world
Humbled. I'd
in
say
which
humbled.
there is. Hang on. There is no
got played off
world
the park,
in
I
which
agree.
there is no world in which Newcastle would have drawn or won that game. Not zero. I give you 0%
Yeah, I agree.
chance.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you're
agree.
an idiot
0%.
because one goal
You're
difference
an
in a game
idiot.
where you've
Right.
already displayed you can score twice.
Yeah,
you
we're
are in
idiots.
the game.
Yeah, we're idiots.
We were playing terribly. Liverpool should have scored tons of goals, but they didn't. And with 85 minutes gone through the game, there was one goal in it, and we could have snatched one on the counter from a set piece, like we had already done 2 times previously in the game. So like that's undeniable.
Yeah, it was.
We've already done it
Yeah,
twice.
you were undeniably well within drawing that game.
We could have.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the
we were.
ref fault. Yeah, blame the refs. Definitely the refs.
The refs took it out.
Also,
We were probably
Arsenal had
going
a
to lose.
higher
but
XG against Fulham and had less shots, so therefore Arsenal should have won against Fulham.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
What happened at Fulham? You were dominating all game, and then they came and got a
we
last
were
minute.
poor, mate.
Yeah, we were really poor.
that's the worst I've seen you play in a long while.
Yeah.
But
Which you would know if you'd have watched the game.
Yeah.
Clearly you
But
haven't.
also,
Oh, it's
I
start
think-
season.
But then, did you see they're not blaming the rest? They were only within one goal.
Yeah, we
they were within one goal.